Welcome to Lotus Lane Daily. I'm glad you're here. Today's wisdom is for anyone lying awake at 3 a.m. with a racing mind. You know that feeling when your body is completely done. Heavy limbs, burning eyes, that thick fog behind your forehead. But your brain has decided without asking you that now is the perfect time to review every embarrassing thing you've said since 2009, or to build a detailed case for why that one conversation at work means everything is about to fall apart. Or just to cycle through a general formless dread that you can't even name. It's 3 a.m. Maybe it's 2 a.m. Maybe it's 4 a.m. and you've been at this for hours. You didn't choose this. You would very much like it to stop. And here you are, phone in hand, screen too bright, looking for something, anything that might help. This article is for you. Not for someone who has their life together and wants to optimize their sleep routine. For you, right now in this specific kind of suffering. First, this is not a character flaw. The 3 a.m. mind that won't stop is one of the most human experiences there is. It is not proof that you are broken, weak, or doing life wrong. It is what happens when an animal built for immediate physical threats, run from the lion, protect your family, survive the winter, gets dropped into a modern world full of abstract, invisible, never quite resolved pressures. Your nervous system is doing exactly what it was designed to do. It's just doing it at the worst possible time, about things it was never quite built to handle. That doesn't make it easier, but it might make it feel slightly less like a personal failure. What's actually happening in there? When anxiety runs a loop at night, it tends to do one of a few things. It either replays the past, that argument, that mistake, that moment you wish you could take back, projects into the future, worst-case scenarios, cascading consequences, all the ways things could go wrong, or just hums at a low, constant frequency of something is wrong without attaching itself to anything specific. The cruel trick of the 3 a.m. mind is that it feels urgent. It presents every thought as if your attention is required immediately, as if figuring this out tonight is the only way to be safe. But almost nothing you are thinking about at 3 a.m. actually requires a solution at 3 a.m. Your brain is lying to you about the deadline. And here's something worth sitting with. The fear itself is not the enemy. One line that stayed with me from a collection of philosophical teachings on courage says it plainly. Courage is not the absence of fear. Courage is feeling fear, recognizing fear, and still taking action. The 3 a.m. mind is full of fear. Recognizing it as fear, actually naming it that way, is already a small act of courage. And sometimes naming a thing correctly gives you just enough distance from it to breathe. What you can actually do right now. Not theory. Actual things. Here are several, and you won't need all of them. Just find one that feels possible tonight. Write it down. Don't solve it. Get your phone or a scrap of paper and write down whatever is spinning. Not to fix it, just to get it out of your head and onto a surface where it has to stay put. The mind loops because it's afraid it will forget something important. Once it's written, you've given your brain permission to let go, just for tonight. Change the temperature. This sounds absurdly simple, but it works. Splash cold water on your face. Hold a glass of ice water. Step outside for 60 seconds, if that's possible. Physical sensation interrupts the thought loop by pulling your nervous system's attention to the body. It doesn't fix anything. It just creates a small gap, and sometimes that's enough to break the cycle. Breathe out longer than you breathe in. Inhale for 4 counts, exhale for 6 or 8. The longer exhale activates the part of your nervous system that calms things down. Do this for 2 minutes. It won't feel like enough. Do it anyway. Stop fighting the wakefulness. This one is counterintuitive. The more desperately you try to force sleep, the more alert you become. Try this instead. Tell yourself you're just going to rest. Not sleep. Rest, eyes closed, body still, no pressure to lose consciousness. Often sleep comes in the back door when you stop trying to chase it through the front. Talk to yourself like you'd talk to a friend. If your friend texted you at 3 a.m. saying, "I can't stop thinking about that thing at work, and I think everything is ruined," what would you say to them? You wouldn't say, "Yes, you're right, everything is probably ruined." You'd say something kinder, more realistic, more measured. Try saying that to yourself. Out loud even, if you can manage it without waking anyone. There is something about hearing your own voice say something gentle that lands differently than just thinking it. The thing underneath the loop. Sometimes the 3 a.m. mind isn't really about the thing it says it's about. The worry about money isn't just about money. It's about safety, about worth, about the fear of losing something or someone. The replay of that argument isn't really about the argument. It's about belonging, about being loved, about whether you matter to the people who matter to you. These are not small things. These are the actual questions of a human life. And the reason they come up at 3 a.m. is that daytime is too loud and too full for them to get a word in. So they wait. There's a line from an old philosophical text about hope that has always felt true to me. As long as we have hope, we have direction, the energy to move, and the map to move by. The 3 a.m. mind is often a mind that has temporarily lost its sense of direction, not because the direction doesn't exist, but because darkness and exhaustion have made it invisible. You are not hopeless because you cannot feel hope right now. You are tired. Those are different things. This night will end. There's something from 13th century writing, practical letters meant to help ordinary people through hard times, that keeps coming back to me when things feel stuck. It goes something like this. Winter always turns to spring. It always has. In all of recorded human history, winter has never once turned back to autumn. The cold does not last. The dark does not last. This sounds like the kind of thing people say that doesn't help, but I think it actually does. If you let it land, not as a promise that tomorrow will be perfect, but as a reminder that this specific night, this specific 3 a.m. wait, is not permanent. Morning will come whether or not you sleep. Your body will rest eventually. The loop will slow down. You have been through hard nights before and you are still here. That's not nothing. That's actually a lot. If this keeps happening, if 3 a.m. is a regular visitor, if this is less one hard night and more, this is just my life now. Please take that seriously. Chronic sleep disruption and anxiety that runs without a break are real things that real people get real help for. Therapy works. Sometimes medication helps. Talking to a doctor about sleep is not admitting defeat. It's taking your own suffering seriously enough to act on it, which takes more courage than most people give themselves credit for. You don't have to white-knuckle your way through this alone. You're not the only one. Somewhere right now, there are thousands of people lying in the dark with the same spinning mind. People who look completely fine in the daytime. People you would never guess. The 3 a.m. mind does not discriminate. It visits the confident and the anxious, the successful and the struggling, the people who have it together, and the people who are just barely hanging on. You are not uniquely broken. You are not uniquely alone. You are a person having a very human experience at a very inconvenient hour. Rest if you can. Write things down. Breathe slowly. Be a little gentle with yourself, not because you've earned it tonight through productivity or good behavior, but because gentleness is just what the 3 a.m. mind actually needs, and you are the only one who can give it. The night will end. It always does. That's the wisdom for today. If something here landed for you, share it with one person who might need to hear it too. Take it slow. I'll see you tomorrow on Lotus Lane Daily.